Welcome to the Breakthrough Club. We provide psychedelic coaching and therapy done by expertly trained professionals. So what does this mean? It means that we're all professionals, so either medical doctors, psychologists, or psychotherapists that have undergone 2 years of specialized training to work specifically with psychedelics. So we got trained to help you prepare for a psychedelic experience, then undergo that experience and help you integrate the lessons out of that experience back into your life. Well, you may ask, is this always necessary? Does there always need to be a trained professional present when I ingest a substance like this? This is a bit of a complicated answer because indeed it is true that there are people that have derived a lot of benefit from these substances by just doing it by themselves or by having a friend or trip sitter present. So I wouldn't say that it's always absolutely necessary to have a trained professional present when you do it. However, if you're struggling mentally, or you do not know how you're going to react to such an experience, or if safety is important to you, or you just want to maximize your chances that you get some benefit out of the experience, well then, obviously, having a professional present that was specifically trained to help you with this would be your safest bet. That shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. So how does psychedelic therapy work? Psychedelic therapy can be tremendously healing, and this is now evidenced by more and more scientific research. The reason why it works so well is actually twofold, and it's a beautiful combination that goes hand in hand. On the one hand, these substances temporarily increase neuroplasticity, which means that they increase your brain's ability to grow and learn. And with this increased neuroplasticity, very often there comes an immediate boost in your mood, a reduction in anxiety, and increased feelings of well-being and of feeling connected to the world and to yourself. On the other hand, the psychedelic experience itself is very useful to get insights into your life, in your thinking and behavioral patterns that are usually in your subconscious or in your blind spot. Because isn't it interesting that oftentimes we know so well what causes the problems and suffering of other people, we are just much more objective to their situation and therefore it's easier to see what causes their problems. However, for ourselves, we find ourselves often confused as to what really causes our problems and how we should solve them. So this is where the psychedelic experience comes in. It allows you to temporarily get more of an outsider perspective on your own situation. And while the psychedelic on its own is already pretty good at giving you those insights, working with a therapist that helps you specifically prepare for and integrate the experience increases the chances for relevant and actionable insights substantially. What is the main pitfall that should be avoided? In our experience, the main pitfall is not capitalizing enough on the increased neuroplasticity in the first period, so the weeks, 2 months after the psychedelic experience. Because of the unique effects of these substances on the brain, there will be an ideal window of opportunity to make changes in your life in the period right after the psychedelic experience. It will be easier to make changes and these changes will generally stick around better and longer. So the main pitfall is failing to do this, failing to make those relevant changes. So if you don't want just temporary benefits out of it, but you want long-lasting benefits, it is very essential to make those relevant changes into your life. And this is one of the main things that we help you with in psychedelic therapy. Will it be easy or can it be very challenging? Will I have a bad trip? We all know the horror stories of having a bad trip. So often the understandable anxiety is that this might happen to you in psychedelic therapy. Luckily, what we see is that with good preparation and good guidance during the experience, almost everyone is able to go through the experience and get something really valuable out of it. And that is not to say that it might not be scary or challenging, because realistically it might very well be those things. But what I'm trying to say is that with the right guidance, you will get through it and you will be able to handle it. And what we often see is that on the other side of such a challenging experience, tremendous healing is possible. So in that sense, we even welcome particularly those challenging experiences because of the potential of healing that they provide. One of the sayings in psychedelic therapy is the experience might not always give you exactly what you want, but usually it will give you what you need. But to have somebody there with you when it gets tough, that can really make all the difference in the world. So summarizing, we at the Breakthrough Club really specialize at this whole process. We help you prepare for a psychedelic experience, then go through that experience, learn lessons from it, and then take those lessons and integrate them in your life, with the ultimate goal of you living a more happy and fulfilled life. If that sounds like something you would be interested in, please get in touch with us. Thank you.